Hey guys, I know it's been a while. Oh, my microphone just got super weird on me. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I assume you can. It's like I'm seeing the little thing on the bottom. It looks like it's still working. Anyway, happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Again, I know it's been a while. So I just wanted to hop on here because I saw a couple comments and it's like I don't want anyone to think I've like died or something or that something awful has happened to me. I am okay. I am okay. Clyde is mostly okay. He's like still kind of on the mend. Um, but yeah, I want to hop on, connect, say hello, um, and just tell you guys a little bit about, why I've taken some space and also just how I'm like navigating slash moving forward on some things here. Let's see. Alejandra, hey, we missed you. We missed you over on Patreon. I was just thinking of you. Missed you. Been sending good thoughts. Oh, thank you. Glad you're well. Glad you're okay. Yeah, that was never my intention to make anybody worry. It's never my intention. Need to catch up on Patreon. Yes. Make sure you like check the posts too. I put a couple important posts after I was live over there. You just might want to see those. Hint, hint. Okay. Got the well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm being presumptuous. Got the notification. Thought I'd hop on here too. Hey, Starseed for Starseed's also a patron. Um, I was just telling my husband, "Where's Bommy? I haven't heard from her. So glad you're okay. I am okay. Everything's totally okay. I was glad that I wasn't hard on myself for missing it this time. That I have to catch up, but that I love you. I love you too. We all love you. We all love you." Was just checking Patreon notifications and finally did an introduction. Yay. Knew this energy was energy. Yes. So, on that note, when the new moon Pisces hit, and everything I'm about to say, you could also have been experiencing yourself. I always like to mention that because I think sometimes when like we're watching content creators, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think people separate themselves like quite a bit from like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. We all have very similar experiences. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think sometimes we forget that or lose sight of that. Um, but when the new moon Pisces hit, there was a lot going on for me personally that was really, really stressing me out. And I was just trying my best to like juggle everything and be human as we humans try to do in this crazy world. But on top of that, when the new moon energy hit, there also was some heart space activations that were coming through. And we spoke about that on Patreon actually. And I had to tap out. That's basically what happened. I had to take a step back. It was made very clear to me I really needed to take a step back and disentangle my own energy a little bit from the collective energy, because obviously things have been a little cray cray in our world and in the collective. There's been a lot of anxiety going on in the collective, a lot of fear going on in the collective, a lot of attempts to control the inevitable changes in the collective. And because I have been, well, because of what I do, right? I'm also very aware of the collective energy. And on top of that, with being stressed and things happening, I really just needed to like really withdraw my energy and really go within myself and just have that separation for a little while. It's sort of ridiculous how much I missed you. Oh, well, don't worry. I am not forever gone. Um, but yeah, so in taking that space, I've been able to give myself the space to deal with this heart activation upgrade that I've been experiencing along with other people experiencing it too. But it's also allowed me to have some separation from the collective energies that has been sorely needed and also helped me to observe the collective energy from afar, way from afar. And so that's honestly where I've been at. That's where I've been at. And again, it's been very much needed. And a lot of you know too, like the week leading up to that new moon, I had no sleep, like none, the week leading up to it. So that being hit with all the other stuff, I was like, yeah, my body needs a break. So that's just what I've been doing. And also in taking this space, um, there's also obviously been some reflection that's happening. We're also in eclipse season. So obviously there's some changes that I am also making right now for myself, especially in terms of like priorities and how I navigate, readings and channelings and content and things like that. So I also wanted to come on here to let you guys know about these updates, right? So just letting you guys know, moving forward, I will probably not be live for a very long time. It doesn't mean you're not going to see content from me. The content will just be pre-recorded. And that's just to have a little bit more separation from like immediate collective energy. I love hanging out with y'all, but it's a much more intimate energetic exchange when we're live. And I know some people are mentioning too, they kind of miss pre-recorded content because like we don't have like interruptions with the chat and what have you. And it can be fun, but I just been guided to do that. And I think it's an important step for me to make. And so, yes, you will start to see content from me again. It's just going to be pre-recorded. Um, excuse me. What was the other thing that I wanted to mention as far as updates go? Excuse me. It's just energy. Um, hold on. Do I need to talk about that? Okay. Okay, we'll circle back to that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is um in taking this space, you guys know that like most of the time I'm closed for sessions, but there are times when spirit kind of intervenes and like allows people to kind of get in there, even though I've like blocked out the time. It's so funny when that happens. And that's usually because it's needed, right? So I have had a couple sessions while I've also been taking this time. And in doing that, first of all, it's always really great to have sessions with people. It also just brought back to my awareness how much I enjoy that. And sitting in my morning practice this morning, it was made clear to me that that's something that is a good alignment right now. So I am open for sessions, and I will be open for sessions through the end of April. Okay. If you can't get in there to book, it's either because that day or slot is already filled, or it's like you can't access that time slot yet because it's too far in advance. Okay. Those are the only reasons you wouldn't be able to actually get into a time slot. So just know if you're not getting in, that's why. And it just kind of is what it is. But I am open for sessions. And I know people have been asking me that for quite some time. So I'm, again, really looking forward to that. The other thing I want to mention, I think, is actually more just some of the stuff that is going on collectively, and just things that maybe could help you support yourself a little bit through these like crazy collective fluctuations, right? Um, hold on. That's okay. The message is what matters. Yes. You talk and I warm up and work out. It's a lot. You're human. Yes. We're all right. We're all human. We're all human. Just doing our best. Not to mention so many people pull on your energy. Yes. Yes, indeed, a Rooney. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I don't know what happened there. That was a fumble. That was a fumble of phrasing. I lit candles for you and Clyde. Oh, Devin, thank you. Yeah, Clyde's going through it. That's another thing too. My bestie, my familiar has been going through it, which has also been not great. He's not like in a bad space, but he's not in a great space. So I've also just been keeping my priority on just taking care of me and taking care of him. But on that same note, speaking of the collective energies, and so just some things that I want to mention about like the way that I have taken space recently, especially if you've like gone through this heart activation or upgrade, because I know I'm not the only one. I know it's definitely hit a collective in the collective. And I know a lot of my patrons have been experiencing that too. Oh, that was the other thing. Changes with Patreon. I do want to announce that too. Um, sorry, so many things. Let me slow down a little bit. So, in the collective, obviously, like I mentioned, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of like, I want to control, I want to control, I want to control. There's a lot of emphasis and focus on trying to figure out what's going to happen, how to prepare for what's going to happen. And to be honest, I think the reality is a lot of like the lessons we have at play right now is really about detaching from that. Hey, buddy. Hi. Did you want to say hello? Here, I can pull your tree closer. Here. Oh. Yeah, that's nice he came in to say hi to you guys. Yeah, he's been having, like, digestive stuff and, like, skin stuff, which I'm pretty sure they're related. Anyway, not important for right now. Everyone's sending you love. I love this cat so much. Clyde heard us talking about him. He always does. He's a magical little cat, and I swear he's, like, not really a cat or something, you know? Um, oh, buddy. I love you. Where was I? Yes. So the anxiety, the collective anxiety and fear and need to control. This is also just like this has been part of human nature since the beginning of time. You know what I mean on this planet. But there is something being transmuted about that right now, which I think is why it's so exacerbated. Okay. And so you could be feeling this coming up within yourself. Obviously, you could be witnessing it in other people, like people just full on freaking out on you, people's demons coming up and out too. That's part of that energy. Um, but this collective anxiety, I've been observing it quite a bit in my quiet space. Because when we speak about the collective, we are also the collective. So understand too that when we experience collective energies, or when we're speaking of collective energies or observing collective energies, you are also part of a collective. And so you can see how you resonate or relate or connect to these collective energies, and also what is beyond your resonance, right? Right, just let that sink in and marinate. I know sometimes when people come onto my channel for the first time, they're like, "What is she talking about?" Let it marinate. I promise that the information is getting seated in your consciousness, and you know, even if you don't know, you know? You know? Anyway, this is how I talk. Um, this collective anxiety, it feels like a distortion slash entity in the collective. Some of you may perceive it as attachment. Some of you may even perceive it as like a demonic energy in your own life. But it is a collective distortion, and it does feel like an entity unto itself. These are just terms we use to understand these things. It's not bad. It just is what it is. But I do think it is absolutely getting transmuted in the collective right now. It's getting confronted right now with everything that is happening as far as changes are going, right? Or concerned with economic fluctuations, global shifts, everything in that nature. Um, so as this is coming up within yourself, you have the ability, you are in the driver's seat, right? To observe it for what it is. You can even talk to it, engage with it, and try to understand your own connection to that collective anxiety entity thing, because it's also part of you. And this is something I was doing this morning, and I talked about this on Patreon just before I hopped on over here. However, this anxiety may be coming up within you, and maybe you're not experiencing it. Maybe you've transmuted it. Maybe it's not a thing for you. But if it is a thing for you, talk to it, confront it, ask it what it wants, ask it what it needs, ask why it is freaking out so bad right now, right? Because in doing that, no, that's my water. Hold on. He loves to knock everything over. He literally is about to put his paw in there and just like knock it down on the ground. Um, Sorry, coming back. You have the ability to understand how you are connected to this distortion, this anxiety, this part of the collective freak out, right? And in doing so, you also can understand how to transmute it. And I want to say most likely by giving it an outlet, whether it's just through recognition, or maybe there is a piece of you, an aspect of you that wants something, wants to do something, or wants to experience something. And in doing so, you can find a way to calm that anxiety, fear, control, whatever you want to call it. I want to call it the anxiety animal, because that's how it's manifesting in my life personally. Um, but that's just me. Could be different for you. And in doing that, not only are you transmuting it for yourself, and not only are you also finding a way to have more of a present calm within yourself, right? With the crazy crap that's happening and just your own personal anxiety and fears. But you're also doing that for the collective, because we are the collective, right? That's something else too that was coming up quite a bit. So in taking this space, there were many days where I just had silence, like total complete silence, not consuming content, not on my phone, just either in bed in meditation or in nature in meditation, just very, very quiet and like really deeply pulling my own energy back within myself. Um, and that's the thing, right? Because with chaos, there's always chaos in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it's loud, like now, sometimes it's really quiet, right? And it's just the nature of existing. It's just kind of the nature of life. You can't control the shape of the road. You can't control the twists and the turns, but you can control how you drive on it, right? This is why Pisces, the lessons of Pisces, of having that level of presence and detachment and calm is so important, right? Because when you have that awareness and you are maintaining that calm, you know how to react from an intelligent place instead of a panicked, anxiety induced, fearful, controlling place. That's when you may run yourself off the road accidentally, right? Right? So, this is just going to help facilitate you navigating and driving the road, right? Because things will always happen. And again, we don't have control over these things, including like when we have big global shifts where literally the whole world is kind of in a shift that relates to the rest of the world, right? Um, for better or for worse. Again, we can't control these things, but in any given moment, you can have complete control and presence of mind and awareness of how you want to respond to these changes, right? It is what it is. It's just the nature of life. And I've been kind of creeping back in to work, right? With these sessions. I'm also going to be doing some recording this weekend. So I have been like needing to open YouTube and whatnot. Um, to get things scheduled and whatever. And so I've been seeing things on the feed and I'm just like, the fear and anxiety is out of control. It's like, I mean, that's the nature of it, right? Literally fear and anxiety is because we think we don't have control. So it's out of control. It's like it's the manifestation of feeling like we don't have control. Um of people trying to predict and forecast and say this is going to happen. No, this is going to happen. No, that's going to happen. The truth is things are way too in flux for there to be a prediction about these kinds of things. All we know is that absolutely there's changes. That's a guarantee. That is absolutely a guarantee right now. Even speaking on a metaphysical level, right? Beyond the 3D. So much is in flux that is contingent upon everyone's individual choices, individual alignment to certain frequencies and vibrations. That's the metaphysical component. So that alone is in such high flux right now that dictates the timelines that we experience and navigate and anchor in, right? And then on top of it, you got the 3D shit of people making very tangible choices in relation to the external reality that also affects the rest of us, right? So like again, we can say all the things that we are picking up on, and I am not discouraging anybody from channeling. I'm not discouraging anybody from putting out there what they believe. I'm a full advocate of that. If you're feeling very strongly no this will happen, then absolutely share that. Absolutely, speak on your truth, please, always. um but there is just a little too much of like of the speaking from fear and anxiety, and it really does feel like a runaway train at this point. Um, so to that same note, I just highly encourage any like big or small practices, exercises that help you to just be more about operating from within. Whether that is quiet, whether that's a little time in nature, whether that's your morning cup of coffee, whatever, because the better we all individually get at maintaining this calm presence and detachment of control, like the detachment of trying to control the road versus controlling the car in this metaphor, which the car is just us, right? Um, the less manifestation externally we're going to see of fear and anxiety if everyone makes this a priority. Not everyone will, because not everyone has that level of awareness, right? And in doing so, we're all going to be able to navigate the collective car a little bit easier, you know? And things are not going to seem as terrifying because also when we are not in a state of fear or anxiety or panic, we have the clarity and presence of mind to make very sound and solid decisions, right? So also just putting that out there. And again, I'm not discounting the crazy shit that's happening. I'm not discounting the bad shit that's happening. I am just speaking to what we can do individually to just navigate things with a little bit more sanity and peace of mind and mental health intact, right? Right. And usually with anxiety comes impatience, impulsivity leading to frustration. Exactly. Exactly. We each have choices, quietly navigating two paths. Our reactions will set some of it. Yes. And that's the thing too. So for people who are not having that awareness, um, I keep calling it the anxiety animal. Call it whatever you want. You again, you may be perceiving it as like outside of you. You may be perceiving it as like entities or people's shadow or people's demons or whatever. All kinds of ways that can be perceived. Some people are not handling it very well right now. Okay. Some people really aren't. Some people are in full blown 100% like not in their driver's seat. Oh, I just shook everything as I said that. Not in their own driver's seat. Right. And when we're not in our own driver's seat, we do kind of allow these other aspects of ourselves, whether you want to call it shadow or other things, take over. Right. And that's not like to be a scary thing. It just is, it's literally just the energies that exist within all of us. Hold on a second. The only control we really have is being in our own driver's seat. So just be aware of that. If you're dealing with people who are not in their driver's seat, it's going to be very clear. It's going to be very obvious, right? So also just putting that out there. I exit from situations like that. It's okay to be aware, but too much completely over stimulates me. I heard your voice this morning and you said it has begun. It has already began. Hi, everyone. Hi, Marion. I tapped into my inner child and it feels so good. It released a lot of anxiety. My brain switched to understanding that I need to be in charge of taking care and protecting my inner child. Yes. So much love to you and your babies. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm confident. I'm assuming Clyde has a food allergy. It's the frustrating thing has been, I feel like I have a good understanding of what's going on with him, but in seeking out like help and support to get him back on track, I'm not heard. And so that's been one of like the really frustrating things about this whole situation. Been feeling and seeing it outside of me too. Solution has been hermiting in my yard slash gardening. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And it's like that's the thing too. So like I think I saw someone's comment out being overstimulated by awareness. So that's why grounding and being centered is so important. And that's what I'm speaking to when I'm saying being in your own driver's seat. Because we can have awareness, but if we're having so much awareness to the point where we are like, right? Like we're like picking up on all these things and we're taking in all these things and we're not really allowing the energy to have a funnel out, right? Then we can get really uprooted, right? Grounding, and I always speak of like I've been speaking to centering in the last couple of years quite a bit, where centering is much more about like maintaining your sense of of your own baseline within like your solar, like a true center, a true middle ground of your upper world, upper chakras, these more like intuitive aspects of self, right? And then your body, the physical realm, like, you know, your internal world, etc. Grounding right now though is also major because I feel like this anxiety collective animal, whatever you want to get, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it has highly affected the root chakra for most people. And I feel like that's almost where it lives. Like that's where it sits, is kind of how it feels. We're going through foundational shifts, which is also the root, right? And that's also where you may feel it even within yourself. We are all connected to this energy in some way, shape, or form. So it is a personal accountability to how you manage it for yourself. There's just a nice added benefit of a ripple effect that it affects the collective in a positive way. But do it for you. You know what I mean? Um, but with the foundational shifts and this like association with the root chakra, right? That is that sense of safety that does hone in on survival energy and survival mode. And so for some people who are aware of this and it's like they are dealing with it and they are trying to work through it in their own way for themselves, whether it's a fear thing, whether it's a control thing, whether it's an anxiety thing, or all the above. Um, for some people, it does mean going very, very deep, like within our own psyche and even within our own bodies and understanding how it has affected us. Because this is something that has been present for, can't even really put a timestamp on it, right? It's been part of our existence as humans for a very long time. And I'm not saying it's even completely going away. It's about cultivating a relationship with it, to be at peace with it, to have that piece of you be at peace, to have this piece of the collective be at peace, right? This is you can say this is shadow work. You can say this is just integration. You could even say this is just like getting acquainted, with our more primal animal instincts, whatever. These are all just different ways of looking at it. Um, but it to me, it does live very deep in the body, um, in the root, maybe even in the solar, maybe in the sacral. Everyone's different. But when we're also talking about, I didn't mean for this to turn to a whole little like podcast episode, but it kind of has. But even as we're talking about like the root, there is a historical component there. And for some people, that is an ancestral thing too. Um, However, that's coming through for you, which is interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, just seeing things. Um, in relation to that, um, yeah, I feel like for anybody where like this is tied to some ancestral things for you personally, how do I want to say this? Yeah, I just gotta call it. It's giving me tentacle vibes. It is. It's giving me tentacle vibes, which to me just says like attachment, 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 entanglement, entanglement, and it is about untangling yourself from certain things. Obviously, for some of you, um, but we can get very nuanced about it. We don't need to. It's just anxiety, fear, this wanting to control out of survival, out of wanting to be safe. And it is a collective experience, which is why it's manifesting the way that it is. But that's also because it's being confronted and transmuted right now. However, that is coming up for you. And again, maybe you've already dealt with it, but only you would know how it feels in your body and in your life. Okay. Uh, it's as if the world is going mad and you just have to let it go. That's hard to take. Yes. Because we want so badly to control the world, don't we? Right? We want so badly to control the craziness that's out there and for the world to be righted, the world to be at peace, the world to be okay and safe and good for everybody. I think we all want that. Everyone wants that. It's why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? But the truth is we don't have dominion over the planet and all of its 8 billion inhabitants. We just don't. But we have control over ourselves, our own car, and how we're driving these roads. Um, but that's also the beauty of how the collective works, right? Because again, the more people that move into this level of awareness and accountability, the more of a ripple effect it has. And the more peace there really can trickle out into the world. It's not an overnight thing. It's not even a like, I mean, people talk about Pluto being an Aquarius, like being like the era all of this happens. I don't even think there's going to be a sense of completion with it. I don't know if there ever will be truly. Who knows? Um, it's just the energetic dance of all things, right? Um, yeah. So that's my little spiel. But like I said, really wanted to come on here and just give you guys some updates, but again, it kind of turned into this. So as it does, as it does. Misty though, going through a lot of shadow stuff. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Divine timing is at play. Did I talk about that here or there? No, I think I already talked about it here. That's the other thing too. You guys know how I am. When I get into channel mode, I'm like, I forget what I've shared. So just like, just in it. Um, let's see. Anything else? So that's to watch how the tentacles of those themes can dictate our actions and behavior. Yes. Taking a step back just to be like, whoa there. Yes, exactly. And so kind of like coming back full circle on that same note, um, I will continue to have this like barrier, if you will. But again, I will pre-record things and post them. Oh, Patreon. That's what it was. That's what I was going to say. So also in taking this step back, I have been in like I forgot how one of my patrons like said it so perfectly and I already forgot how she said it. Um like being in like some kind of cosmic bubble, moving things, shifting things, that's absolutely where I've been at. So part of that has been like most like okay, half of it's been like non-physical with like doing shit in the realms. That's always just part of why how I exist and me being here. But the other half of it with physical reality, I've also been like cleaning house, so to speak, on just some things in my life. So Patreon is fully updated. With all of the changes I've been, like, making on Patreon, there were just things I kinda forgot to do along the way or just, like, they weren't in my awareness, like, when you sign up to be a patron, like, you get a welcome note. I apparently hadn't updated that in, like, 2 years or something like that. Even just the way it reads on the benefits on the page on the homepage on Patreon, that's been updated. I realized that looks kinda messy. It's very Virgo of me with the Virgo eclipse coming up. So if you're curious as to what's going on Patreon these days, all the information is up to date and accurate. Also, I will be live tomorrow about 12 p.m. Pacific time on Patreon for the full moon Virgo eclipse hangout. We're going to hang out for quite a bit. We're going to talk. It's my only thing on my agenda tomorrow. So it should be a fun time, a very casual, fun little time. We were kind of joking. It probably is going to be like a 4 hour hangout, kind of ends up what it usually ends up being. The other thing, so if you like haven't even heard about Patreon and you're like, oh, I didn't know you had it, or you didn't know I had a Patreon words. I feel like I'm already in Mercury retrograde. Um, so just a quick rundown of what is available over there. So for the first tier, you get access to, all the live little chats and hangouts, all the new moon and full moon hangouts, and early access to all the podcast episodes that I do, which is not a set schedule. Do I have a podcast? Yes, but I do it when I feel guided to, like when to do an episode, when I feel guided to or when it feels in alignment. So it's a very casual, non like spontaneous thing. It's a spontaneous podcast, okay? But when I do them, the first tier does get early access to those episodes. We also have a forum page where we all like chat and hang out and share certain things, and so you'll have access to that. Um, and then the second tier, access to all the first tier, obviously, right? But the second tier also gets weekly patron only readings. Say that again. Weekly patron only readings. And those usually post every Wednesday. I have been live for those. And just given where I'm at, I will probably pre record them, but sometimes they'll be live. Also, that tier gets early access and ad free versions of all pre recorded YouTube content. Say that again. That tier, the second tier, also gets early access and ad-free versions of all the pre-recorded YouTube content. And I also am starting to offer a little discount for sessions for that tier as well. And so that is all there and posted. But yeah, so giving you the patron updates. I am open for sessions as well. YouTube content will most likely be pre-recorded for quite a bit moving forward. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything, and I'll be live tomorrow on Patreon for the hangout. Uh, let's see. Good people know the truth and stand up to the madness. And see, that's the other thing too. So, like I said, I've been very like in the bubble until the last couple days. Wait, hold on a second. Just FYI. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, hold. Thank you. I will. Maybe that happened for a reason. I'll look at it after. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, though. What you said about block slots and it's still booked, to me, it happened in other ways with my phone, calling a special person out of nowhere, sending a message which has already deleted. I don't understand. But that brought up something I do want to say. So when you are booking for sessions, if you try to get into that time slot and it doesn't let you, most likely it's already booked or taken, or it's too early to book it. Because that's happened too. Because I have a what do you call it? Words are eluding me right now. I only allow people to book so far in advance as well. So if you're trying to get like a really far out date, it may be too far out for you to actually book, even if it says that it's available. Um, when you say open for sessions, you mean personal readings? Yeah. So it's like, so yeah, and everything's on the website. So if you just go to BOMISpirit.com, there's, you can, it's pretty clear. You just go to services and it shows you what I do, what I offer, and then it'll take you to show you like what availability is there. Um, it's my day off. The Aries rising wants it. Alejandra, you're so funny. Is that a day I even do sessions? That's the other thing too. I don't do sessions every day. Um, Let me see, March 10th. Oh, no, that is a day that I should have available. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's not open yet for booking. Maybe that's part of it. Like I said, if you're trying to shoot really far in advance, it may be too far in advance to allow you to book. So just putting that out there. But those like if you are not getting in for those reasons, like I mean, well, those are the reasons, most likely. Um, yes. Was there anything else? I think that was it. I think that was it. I'm rattling my brain. No, I didn't think I think that was it. Got an email notification about the discount and it says but it still shows wait, that's weird. Sorry, I'm reading a look at the stars comment. It probably happened for a reason. I might just leave it alone. Like, technology and me have a weird relationship. Weird things happen. I try to roll with the punches as much as I can when weird tech shit happens at this point. I like don't have the energy to like always try to figure out what the hell's happening. I feel like we each in our own life is a movie to be the star. We control who and what and how it plays out. It's a lifetime of work, rest assured. Beautiful. By any chance, do you offer anything in regards to reading birth charts? Yes, I do. So, okay. So, for those who don't know, so I'll just explain here because maybe, I probably got some new people here. So, I offer readings, I offer astrology sessions, which to be honest, I think those are my favorite. I'm just being honest. I think those are my favorite to do. And then I also offer spiritual guidance sessions as well. But you guys know how I am. I'm a channel, right? So it's like even if I'm doing the readings or the astrology sessions, there's also just channeled stuff that comes through as well. But yeah, descriptions are on the website, but that is what I offer. Um, but the time button's not working. Again, it may be because of other bookings on that day. Because okay, I feel like we're getting into logistics here, but there are different durations for the sessions, right? And so and maybe there's also people booking at the same time because again, I am just announcing it right now. For personal readings, do you have to be a patron? No. No. This is why I'm announcing it here. You don't have to be a patron to have a session with me. Um, right? And so like and depending on what type of session it is, I also have buffer times if I need recovery time or preparation time. So, depending on what people book, that also can dictate what time is even available after that. Um, it's just how it goes. But like I said, spirit has a lot of control, like not control, I shouldn't say that. Spirit also did kind of dictates like who gets in and who doesn't. I know that sounds really weird. It's just what I've come to accept over the years. Because like I said, there's times when I block out an entire day and people will get in there. And I know it's because spirit let people get in there, And I've had people who've been trying to book with me for like months, even like over a year and sometimes weird things happen and they can't get in, and, like, I really hate to say it, but it is just kind of a alignment thing, like, if it's really in alignment, it'll work out and it'll be fine. And there's some people that get in on their first time and that's it, and they've never had any issues. Um, so through your website, yes, through the website. Yes. Alejandra, it's been 84 years. I love you. That was a good laugh. I needed that laugh. Hey, Imagine. It's good to see you. Um, it's been 84. It's been 1,000 years. But I am excited to do sessions again. I am like doing these last couple. It was like, man, I do enjoy the whole experience. I enjoy like getting to know the person, connecting with them, and it's a very intimate exchange. And it's just so a good experience. It's a good experience for all involved for the most part. Have you tried feeding Clyde a raw meat diet? I have tried so many things with this cat. The fresh diet slash raw diet stuff, he has been very adamant he wants no part of it. And I have given it the good old college try, and he's just like, no, give me junk food, please. And I don't feed him junk food. I don't. Um, but it's that kind of reaction, it's that kind of response. See you April 10th. Okay, see you April 10th. Uh She hopes so many people will be able to purchase a chart for her. Um, you can't. Actually, yeah, I guess people have done that in the past. People have done that in the past. Just make sure, like, if you want to book on her behalf, I mean, I don't know, maybe you should talk to her first. I don't know. I just get that feeling, maybe just make sure it's something she actually does want. Um, just make sure you put it in the notes, you know what I mean? Because like, when you go to book, you have a section where you can just tell me anything you want to tell me or want me to be aware of, and so if you're booking for someone else, make sure that is made clear, including email addresses, because, most of these sessions are live, like, through Zoom and stuff, you know? Um Oh, CJ Kennedy! Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've seen you. Hi, aloha. Nice to catch you. Nice to catch you too. Happy International Women's Day. Oh, thank you. I wasn't even aware that was today. Yes, happy International Women's Day. Is he on a kidney diet? Yes. Yes. Can you do readings for people with no birth time? Um, do I write that in the description? I think I make that clear in the description how that works. So if this is turned into a Q&A, I love it. So if you're booking an astrology session, that's the only session I need your birth information for obvious reasons, because I'm reading your chart, right? If you don't know your date of birth, giving me any information around that is beneficial, as far as like if you know it was in the AM or in the PM or a ballpark, if you know a ballpark. And if you don't have any of that information, you can just relay that to me. The only consequence of that is like I can still go through your chart with you. There's just going to be some other things about it that are like not so detailed. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be able to take into account the houses, like the effect of the houses in your astrology reading, but I can still talk about like the different aspects in your chart and the effect that could have, and even like the effect transits could have on you in that same regard. But I just can't take into account the effect of the houses, is the only thing. Um, but I can do it. That's just the caveat. And again, only for astrology sessions. I don't need that for personal readings or spiritual guidance sessions or anything like that. It's the only thing I would need it for. Um, I'll pray that I succeed at getting the April 10th slot. Spirit nudged me to finally join Patreon. You'll need the community in the coming days. Thanks for the support in advance. Oh, you're so welcome. And over time, it really has, how I want to say, yeah, I guess just deepened as far as like being a good little like support, collectively, like, in our little collective. It really has. And like now that we have the forum, like that has me excited. There's other things I want to get honed in to make the forum more easily accessible. But again, day by day, baby steps on everything in my life right now. So I know that will come to pass when it needs to, when it's in alignment to, I guess. I've missed you. I've been in the process of moving, though I do want to recommend golden tea for Clyde. And you can add some max fruit to the milk, including colostrum. Oh, thank you. Hold on, let me was there a way to copy that comment? Hold on. I think there is. I 1 second. Just putting that in my notes. Okay. Maca. Oh, thank you. Hold on, let me put that there too. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it. As far as updates, some of the collective energy, like I said, you are going to see content from me. It's just going to be pre-recorded most likely. But yeah, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to go take care of some things, and I will see you guys again soon. Wait, sorry to bring this up again. I'm having the same issue. It's not allowing me to pick a time on the website. So, excuse me. Again, if the system's not allowing you for a specific time slot, there's probably gonna be a number of reasons why, but it's most likely because of other bookings around that time slot, including buffer time that I have pre-designated for my own well-being. Because like there are certain sessions that I need to like recover from before hopping into the next session. And every session has a different duration, which is also why it may overlap into other time slots like that. So if it's not letting you choose a time slot, it's either because of that, or it's a time slot that's taken, or it's too early to book. Because again, I also have a buffer time for that. I don't let people book like months in advance. I think it's like 30 days actually that I allow people to book from. So if you're trying to book like April 10th and later, that's also probably why. Because I just not letting people book that early. Spring ahead is tonight? Really? Okay, it's funny you bring that up because like literally like the other day, I'm like, I feel like we're supposed to spring forward soon. Literally in my mind, I was like, and I've been living in states up until recently where they don't do that. So I haven't had to worry about that for like years at this point. So thank you for mentioning that. That's so funny. I literally was like, I think that's happening soon. Um, you bet no thank you. Totally in trans with all that shifting, watching the new earth emerge has been holy shitness. Yeah, I think we all feel that, CJ. Totally, totally resonates. I was trying to book April 10th, but it's not 30 days out yet. Yes. So that is also why. 30 days out, I'm pretty sure is how I have it scheduled right now. All right, guys. That being said, I'm gonna hop off. I love y'all. Take care. And again, you will see me soon. And for those who are going to join us for tomorrow for the hangout on Patreon, I look forward to seeing you guys. Okay. All right. Take care. Enjoy your weekends and your Saturday. Bye.